The expectant hum of nascent starlight vibrated in my bones. It was the cosmic equivalent of a held breath, a universe waiting to exhale a gift. 16 million years, a milestone even for one of my kind, the star-forged. My existence had been a languid drift through incandescent nebulas and silent, diamond-dusted voids. I'd painted constellations onto the black canvas of new galaxies and spun moons from cosmic dust for my own amusement. For my 16 millionth birthday, tradition dictated a rite of passage far grander than any I had yet experienced. My own planet, a Genesis-class world ripe for shaping. A blank slate upon which I could sculpt life, raise mountains like sleeping gods, and pour oceans of liquid sapphire. My parents, vast and shimmering entities whose true forms could buckle the fabric of spacetime, appeared before me as elegant pillars of coalesced light. Their voices were the chime of colliding asteroids and the whisper of solar winds. Our dearest Elara, their chorus resonated, not in my ears, but directly within my essence. A milestone of ages deserves a gift of equal measure, a world to call your own, a place to anchor your power. A shimmering portal, a tear in reality, opened beside them. It did not show the vibrant blues and greens I had fantasized about. There was no swirl of pristine white clouds or the glint of sun on a virgin sea. The view was sludge. A miasma of greasy brown and sickly yellow choked the sphere on the other side. "What is this?" I asked, my voice a fragile crystal in the face of their booming harmony. "It is your becoming," they replied, their tone infuriatingly serene. "It is Ethel." They gently nudged my astral form forward. The moment I crossed the threshold, the portal snapped shut behind me, severing my connection to the clean, sterile cosmos. The air hit me like a physical blow. It was thick, acrid, tasting of chemical fires and wet decay. I choked, my form flickering as it struggled to process the sheer toxicity. My bare feet, usually accustomed to walking on solidified light, sank into something soft and foul-smelling. I looked down, gray, nutrient-starved soil, littered with the rusting husks of some primitive technology. The sky was a perpetual, suffocating twilight, the sun a pale, diseased-looking disk behind a shroud of pollution. A slow, greasy rain began to fall, and where it touched my skin, it sizzled with a faint, acidic bite. This wasn't a Genesis world, this was a tomb. A Type 0 civilization had risen, industrialized, and then choked to death on its own progress. This wasn't a gift, it was an insult, a cosmic joke, a garbage heap at the forgotten edge of a dying galaxy. Rage, a hot and unfamiliar emotion, coiled in my gut. My parents had given me a broken toy, a derelict project, a punishment. Why had I displeased them? Was my art not grand enough, my creations not perfect enough? I wouldn't stand for it. I was Elara. I had sung stars into existence. I would not be anchored to this rot. I gathered the energy within me, focusing on the familiar pathways of translocation, preparing to tear my own way back to the celestial currents. I reached for the power that was my birthright, the ability to fold space and step between worlds. Nothing happened. I tried again, pushing harder, pulling on the threads of the cosmos. A dull, heavy chain seemed to wrap around my essence, yanking me back. I felt it then, a deep, metaphysical anchor burrowing from my core down into the planet's blighted heart. They had bound me to it. I was a prisoner. Panic, cold and sharp, pierced through my anger. The acidic rain fell harder, plastering my silver hair to my skull. The air grew thicker, making my lungs burn. My own starlight began to dim, my form becoming more solid, more vulnerable, more mortal. From the swirling chemical fog ahead, two shapes emerged. They were tall, broad, wrapped in patched hides and scavenged armor plating. They moved with the predatory grace of survivors, their faces obscured by crude rebreather masks. They were natives, descendants of the fools who had murdered this world. One of them carried a long, vicious-looking blade fashioned from sharpened scrap metal. He raised it, its edge catching the bleak light. His voice, distorted and harsh through his mask, cut through the hiss of the rain. "Look what the poison sky coughed up, Reese," he growled, the sound low and dangerous. "Another sky curse come to watch us die."
Want to keep the flame ignited without having to wait for the next part? You can find the full, tantalizing tale on our main page. See the link in the description.